Hi, Austin ELAR teachers. It's Ashley Muchler here. I'm really sorry I can't be there with you guys today. I love ELAR, I love Springboard, and I wish I could have helped you guys plan. But hopefully I can help you guys a little bit virtually with your purposeful planning and your beginning with the end in mind. So let's take you through a little bit of the Springboard sites to show you where to go and how to start. To begin with, you want to go to the Curriculum Springboard site on the Teacher Tools page. You'll see that the district has two Springboard sites for us to use. We have the actual College Board site, and then we have a district site that's been set up for the curriculum maps. We'll look at that one later, but I would tell you to always start with the College Board Springboard site. Once you get here, you want to log in. If you do not have a login, you'd want to let Melanie Sangali know. She's our district coordinator for ELAR, and she can get you in. Once you're into Springboard, you need to go to the Find Materials tab. And of course, you'll need to go to the Find Materials tab. And here, every English teacher has access to every grade level, both student edition and teacher edition. So click on the level that you will be planning. So here is the home page, basically, which gives you both digitally a teacher edition of the book and a student edition of the book. Anything that's available on here, you can save, you can print, you can take home, you can upload it to Project Share. But all of these are PDFs that will give you the exact view of what is in your book, and that's just a little something. So if you don't need to take the whole book home the weekend, you can print off the pages you might need. So click on the unit that you're planning for, and sometimes you'll find that the Springboard site takes a little bit. When you click on the unit, you will see the table of contents like you would just looking in the book. The first place I would start would be with the unit overview. When you put your cursor over the unit overview, or really any of these, you'll see the apple and the graduation cap. The apple is the teacher view. The cap is the student view. So if you were going to save the student view to upload to Project Share, or to print a couple copies to give to kids who weren't there or weren't going to be there, you could do that there. I would always start your unit overview by looking at the teacher view. One of the things I really like about Springboard is their thematic ties that run throughout the whole unit. Um, Obviously, in 8th grade or level 3, GT level 7, GT 7th grade, they're looking at the theme of challenges, but they're also going to look at it by examining heroes. And as a lover of liberal arts and English literature, I love that in the 8th grade, or for GT 7th graders, they're already going to start to learn about the archetypal hero's journey. Every unit in Springboard has something like this, where we're focusing on an adolescent issue like challenges, and then a literary issue like the archetypal hero's journey. So you want to get those big themes sort of under your belt before you start planning. So the challenge theme and the examining heroes. Of course, read this and see how they're going to take you through those two, but every unit will introduce you to the themes that way. You'll see in here a lot of what we'll look at in the curriculum maps, but this is also here for you to get started. After you know what you're looking at, so in level 3 we're looking at the hero's journey, and we're also going to focus on the challenges. I would come down here to your embedded assessment number 1, which is writing a definition essay. So click on the teacher view. this will give you the view of what's in your Springboard TE. And really the only thing that's different from the students is this your wraparound side pages. And the way I would start would be by looking at those embedded assessments. Just like when you unpack the unit with your students, you're going to want to, as a teacher, unpack the assessment first. You want to look only at the exemplary column, because we're not going to aim for our students to be proficient or emerging. We want to look at only those standards that would get them to the exemplary grade. Now, English TEKS are a lot different than science or social study, or really any other core content TEKS, because they're not as specific as, say, histories, where it's define the causes of the revolution, or in science, describe the phases of mitosis. English TEKS are more broad, and they focus on sort of a concept rather than a detail. So that's where looking at this and planning your unit with this in mind is going to be really important. Just like when you unpack with your students, you really want to go through here first and decide what's important. So in the ideas section of this is the definition of a hero essay. We want their essays to focus on the concept of heroism, and we want it to be, I would circle, concept of heroism is uniquely and clearly defined. The strategies of definition are skillfully employed, and this is the function example of negation. And thus you're going to go through these and really circle your verbs, the writer structures. This is where I would circle the word structures. The essay with an engaging introduction, underline that. An insightful thesis, you'd want to underline that. A well-developed body, paragraphs, and a powerful conclusion. So that's telling your students the things that they need to do to be exemplary in this standard. As you continue on down here, you want to look at your use of language. The writing is smooth, skillful, and coherent throughout the essay. The diction is sophisticated and appropriate. The writing is virtually error-free and uses proper punctuation. Down here, there's extensive evidence the essay reflects the various stages of writing. That is to say that the student just hasn't written their first draft last night and turned it in, that they've done a draft, that they've been through a revising and editing process, and that they've polished it off with a final version. There's also a space in here for you to add additional criteria. If you want, would be a good place to add in any technology pieces or project pieces that you feel can really drive this point home with your students. So that is how I would go through an embedded assessment. Look only at that exemplary column. Unpack this first, as you would with the students, to show them what is important, so you know what you need to teach and what you need to plan around. And of course, go in and add anything extra that you want the essay to have. These embedded assessments are closely tied to STAR and STAR writing. Doing them is most beneficial. Planning with them in mind is also most beneficial. Okay, let's go back to the district website. And let's take a look at the curriculum maps. After you know what your first embedded assessment is going to be, or your next embedded assessment is going to be, I would look at the Irving ISD Springboard curriculum maps. Your login to the curriculum map site is going to be your typical username and password. Choose the grade level that you're working with. Remember that if you're working with a GT course, your grade level is actually the year above. So if you're working with 6th grade, you'll choose the 7th grade section. If you're working with 7th grade, you'll choose 8th grade. And GT 8th graders will work out of the 9th grade section. Select the curriculum map or the curriculum 6 weeks that you're going to look at. Now, all of these curriculum maps were written by Irving ISD teachers who were exemplar in using Springboard, and it contains a realistic Irving ISD snapshot of how this can be implemented in your class. It will tell you at the top how long. Well, this is the first 6 weeks, so about how long this should take, so 29 days. It'll give you the Level 3, Unit 1, the Challenge of Heroism. This unit overview will be condensed on top, and that was what we looked at on the Springboard site. It'll give you your academic vocabulary, your AP college readiness, and of course your essential questions. Within here are also the TEKS and the supporting standards, so if at any time you're wondering where this comes from, let's go to the bottom, and there it is. Within each of these lessons, you can see these are the teacher notes over here. So this is for extra support. Teacher would create a model for students to follow. And like I said, this was made by teachers who were identified as exemplar and who taught this well within their class. So these are good examples and good advice to use. You'll see often in here it'll say see resource, and I'll show you where the resource page are, but those teachers have provided us with their resources to use or not use as we want them. You'll see oftentimes in the notes it'll ask you to revisit the unpacked embedded assessment, and it'll tell you some things to review as you start to get ready for that embedded assessment. But everything the students do within this unit is leading and built on the collaboration of that. Resources right now are up for the first semester, and they're zipped, so you can unzip the file and take and use what you need. Right now we don't have any copies of exemplars or photos up there, but we hope to get those on soon. There's also no year to glance right now, but again, hopefully soon. There is the video feature up, and for almost every film clip that Springboard uses, there is a link to the digital media server that has either the clip or the movie of what we need. So you don't have to rent the movie anymore or go get it from your librarian or fight with another teacher for it. It's all here for you to use. If you look on Level 3, the only thing we need to check out is the Diary of Anne Frank. So that's how you get started with the end in mind. Last year I taught GT English 6 and 7, and I taught Reading 8. So I know the challenges of both. I also know the challenges of combining both. And this summer I wrote Online English 1 for the district level 4. I really do like Springboard. I think it's a smart curriculum. I think it's built around some solid literary concepts, but I think it's also a really engaging curriculum. Please let me know if you need any help. Email me if you need anything, and I hope to see you guys soon. Have a great LOL day.